Hello. Thank you very much for joining me today. How you doing? Today I'm going to react to this video right here by Vox, small and up-and-coming YouTube channel. Check them out, link down below. Teaching in the US versus the rest of the world. Interesting. I do not know where they're going to go with this. I mean, teachers are notoriously underpaid here in America. So I don't know if, maybe that's the case with the rest of the world too. I don't know. Teachers in America have a uniquely tough job. Okay. Let's see.
This is Anna. She just graduated from college in the United States. And this is Sophia. She also just graduated from college in Finland.
Uni. Actually, I don't know what they call it in Finland.
Anna and Sophia both want to be middle school teachers, but it turns out there's a good chance their experiences will be very different. So different that Anna is twice as likely as Sophia to leave teaching for good.
Damn.
That's causing a problem.
Oh my God, it's so true too. I actually can't believe it's sustainable the way it is. Teachers leave that profession so often. So often. It really depends on what school district you're in. That's the thing about the USA is the school districts vary wildly. Mostly based off of how rich the district is. But my God, if you're teaching at a poor district mainly, it can be very, very, very difficult. A very, very difficult job, and a lot is expected of you. Basically, at some schools, you're expected to basically be a parent to the kids. Anyway, let's continue.
The supply of new certified teachers in the United States is shrinking.
Wow.
But
well, maybe they should pay them more.
The number of public school students keeps growing.
Isn't that how capitalism, free market works?
Massive teacher shortages.
Warnings about teacher turnover.
Educators call Colorado's teacher shortage a crisis.
Oh, here's an idea. How about we just shove more kids in the same classroom? We don't need so many teachers. And the teacher can teach multiple subjects. We'll save money. That's the thing to skimp out on, right? Education for our children. The people that are growing up to become the people who run the country. Who cares about their education?
So what makes Sophia stay and Anna leave? And how can the United States keep more of its teachers in the classroom?
It would be interesting to see a breakdown on this, like based on kind of the school district or location or how wealthy the district is. Because I bet that makes a gigantic difference to how often teachers quit.
In the US, teachers work about 9.25 hours a day.
Damn.
That's an hour and a half longer than the average for teachers in other countries in the Organization for Economic Development, or OECD for short. That's a group of mostly wealthy countries that economists often compare to one another.
That's a pretty ridiculous amount of time. I mean, in a developed country, I'm not against if you want to work overtime, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're working a job, there's a lot of people who work overtime on purpose to bring home more money, provide for their family, whatever. If that's what you want to do, then of course do it. But for that to just be the standard, work over 9 hours in a day for teachers, that's ridiculous.
In the US, work more than 2.5 hours longer than their colleagues in South Korea, Finland, and Israel. There are some countries with similar teacher work hours to the United States, like New Zealand, Singapore, and the UK.
Interesting, the UK. Oh, wow.
Teachers in Japan, for example, work nearly 2 hours.
I was going to say maybe China, Japan. The work ethic over there is wild, I feel like. And I don't know how they do it or if it's good or bad. In some ways, obviously it's good. Other ways, it can't be good for you.
And the UK. Teachers in Japan, for example, work nearly 2 hours more per day than teachers in the US.
Unreal.
But in all of these countries, teaching hours are much lower. Of the 9
Teaching hours are lower, so they're doing other type of work.
and a quarter hours that American teachers work every day, they spend about 5.5 of those hours actually teaching. That's
Okay.
more than the OECD average, and significantly more than teachers in New Zealand, the UK, South Korea, Japan, and Singapore.
Whoa. So even in Japan, where they work for 11 hours, they teach for much less. Oh, wow. So there's a lot more preparation. That makes sense.
Teachers in these countries get more time for planning, grading, and collaborating with each other. So, do all those extra teaching hours translate to better results? Students in the
I guess we'll see.
US score slightly above the OECD average on the PISA exam, which tests 15-year-olds
A pizza exam?
all over the world in reading, science, and math. But they score lower than students in countries like Finland, South Korea, Japan, and Singapore, where teaching hours are much lower. If we look inside Anna and Sophia's classrooms in the US and Finland, we'd see Anna teaching an hour and a half more per day than Sophia. Anna also spends more time planning lessons, grading student work, and leading extracurricular activities. But those extra
Probably gets paid less, too.
hours aren't necessarily reflected in Anna's paycheck. If you compare Sophia to other people in Finland with college degrees, she makes about 98 cents for every dollar that they make. That's on par with the pay ratio between teachers and college graduates in similar countries. But Anna and other American middle school teachers only make about 65 cents for every dollar that their college-educated peers make.
God, what an embarrassment that is.
Still, as politicians
It is one of the worst. I mean, it's so sad, but it's one of the worst investments is getting a degree and then becoming a teacher. You go into a huge amount of debt just to make a salary that you could have made without a degree. Of course, it's a noble job. It's a very noble job. And a lot of people, there are people out there who are kind of born to be teachers and they can't really see themselves doing anything else. So it's hard for those people.
in the US never tire of pointing out,
We spend more per student than almost
Any country, I think,
than nearly every other country in the developed world.
but that figure varies a lot by state. New York spends twice as much as California on each student. Mississippi
Holy crap.
spends less than half as much as Alaska. And American schools generally spend a lot more on security and other non-instructional costs
Security. How sad is that? Although, to be honest, I mean, where I went to school, there wasn't really much security. There is a cop. I don't know if you guys have that, but he's called the school resource officer, and it's an officer that's like always at the high school. Maybe that is weird. I don't know. But he's like a cop that, I mean, for the most part, he's not really doing normal cop stuff. He's more so there to, like, help. Obviously, he's there for in case of an emergency. It is America, after all. You know what I'm saying? But, 99.9% of the time, he's there kind of, like, assisting with logistics and stuff and teaching kids and being a mentor and stuff like that.
than schools in other countries. Plus, if you look at the share of its national wealth, or GDP, that each country spends on education, you can see there are plenty of countries spending a bigger share than the US.
Okay, but the US's GDP is huge.
There's one other difference between Anna and Sophia.
Like, if we're spending that much of our GDP, we should be getting some amazing results.
When they're asked whether people in their country value teachers, 2 out of 3 Finnish teachers say yes. But just 1 in 3 American teachers agree.
I feel like that's mainly because of their pay. And also, I know that teachers get a lot of crap from the parents, the students' parents. Kind of goes back to what I was saying. Some parents think that teachers are more responsible for their kids than they are. So the teachers get a lot of crap from the parents. But in general, in society, people appreciate teachers. It's just not reflected in their pay or in, how they're treated by the parents sometimes,
There are
which is what really matters.
a lot of reasons why teachers like Anna leave the classroom. But if the US wants to keep more of them around, we might want to take a few pages from Finland's book.
Imagine that. That was a really great video. Go check out Vox. Small and up and coming YouTube channel 123. I'm like a child. I see 123. I have to say it out loud. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Actually, no, I won't. I'll see you next week. Bye.